A lot of stuff coming out of Santa Clara today. Doing my best to get it to you as quickly as possible, but I really wanted to highlight this clip from Charvarius Ward. As we know, Mooney had been dealing with some tragedy off the field, and we've heard a little bit from him throughout this process, but not a whole lot. And being able to like really understand his thought process, his family's thought process, and everything that they've had to deal with this year. It's just it's sad, one, to kind of again like have to hear what he's had to go through and his family's had to go through, but it's also too a situation where we got to talk about his future. We got to talk about what is his plan. Is he going to be a 49er? Is he not going to be a 49er because he is an unrestricted free agent? So he also talks about that and kind of that process and what that looks like. But once you watch this video, I think it's crystal clear what is going to happen to Charvarius at the end of this season and what his future holds. And listen, I hold nothing against him. Let's take a listen to the clip, and I think you'll absolutely kind of understand what I am talking about. This clip is from Matt Life.
Uh, I think they went into this season thinking they wasn't gonna be able to afford me. Based off the way I played last year. If I would have matched that last year, probably would have been one of the highest paid corners in the game. But I mean, obviously this year didn't go my way or the team's way. So I mean, we'll just see what the market talking about. If they can afford me, it's a chance I can come back. But they may not be able to afford me. So I mean, I just want to go to what I'm wanting and what I'm loved. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's what I need right now. A lot of love. And I know the Niners love me. You know what I'm saying? But in this business, a lot of time money talks. But I build great relationships here. So, we'll see. I honestly don't know where I'm gonna end up at. But it's a possibility that I can come into the Niners.
Could you see a scenario if the market's not where you want to be, where you would do like a 1 year and try to get it so you could get that?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, possibly. I got a lot of trauma in California. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of great times, but the worst thing that's ever happened to me, that's probably gonna ever happen to me, knock on wood, happened in California. You know what I'm saying? So it can just bring up bad memories. You know what I'm saying? Like every time I get on the plane and come back to California, Santa Clara, San Jose, and show up here, it's just bring up bad memories. You know what I'm saying? I go through that every day. You know what I'm saying? I go home every night by myself because my girl, she don't want to come back to California because of what happened. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard being alone, and she's my strength right now. I need her. So her not being able to be around me if I'm in California would be tough. But like I said, stuff can change a little bit.
I mean, he said it all right there at the end, and we'll start with that part, and then right now the football part of it feels like the least important part. Uh Man, um, if you're unfamiliar with like what had happened is they basically put his daughter down to sleep like any other normal night, and when they had went to go wake her up, that's when they had found that she had passed. And I mean, I have 4 kids, so I wake them up all the time. I could never imagine um wake them up or checking on them to go into that scenario and have the outcome that Charvarius Ward and his family had to go through. When you talk about trauma, 100%. And it's even more revealing that his wife isn't even here. His wife can't even be in the home where this had happened because of her trauma. And so not only has that situation happened, obviously they have welcomed the birth of their new son, which is awesome, but he's also now away from his son. Um, and just talking about how California to him represents that trauma for him, his wife, himself. Um, that's brutal. And that is what it is being a human in this game. These guys get boiled down so much to, well, he makes millions of dollars. He'll be fine. we can say whatever the hell we want about this guy. Who cares? He makes millions of dollars. And I personally have never subscribed to that thought process, because it doesn't just because you have money and you have worked your tail off to put yourself in a position to take care of your family for generations, like, does that mean you deserve to be talked to differently, or just have utter disrespect, thrown your way because you're not playing a football game up to, you know, Joe Schmo's standard on the couch eating barbecue chips? Like, I'll never subscribe to that. I'll never understand that thought process of, well, these guys are professional athletes. Like, critique is one thing, criticism is another. We can critique these athletes. These athletes are used to critique. They're critiqued every day by their coaches. You're not doing this well. Better footwork, better hand placement, this, that. We got to work on this. We got to get better at that. That's normal. But it's the disrespect in the name of, well, he makes millions of dollars. It is ridiculous. And you get to hear like what guys are going through. Matt, who posted this video, actually just tweeted 10 minutes ago saying there are some really weird, hateful reactions to the Mooney Ward video. Ward contributed to a few really good teams, was a leader, dealt with an unfathomable tragedy, and continued to show up to work. The only reaction should be to thank him and wish him the best. And that's exactly right. It's anyone saying anything else is just completely misguided and just lost, I would say. To be able to watch that video and have any other type of response other than just being gutted for him and just totally being able to rationalize, like, man, I couldn't imagine. Yeah, let alone like coming out and trying to play football and come back to work, but you're doing it alone. You're not doing it with your support system. Your support system left because they can't stand being in the place where you have to go home and put your head down to sleep every night. Like that is real. That is real pain. That is real trauma that I wish none of you guys have to deal with, let alone, you know, also a player who happens to play for our favorite team. So it's brutal, man. This is more about Mooney. I don't want to focus on, trolls and people who are just emotionally dense. But I just feel for Mooney, man. Like, I really do. Like, hearing him talking about it, the trauma, it just like I can rationalize it. I might not have had to experience what he's gone through, but I can rationalize what he's gone through, and it's unfathomable, that pain that he's probably feeling. And on top of that, that's compounded on top of the conversation of, are you going to be back here next year? Are you going to re-sign? And he's telling you that the 49ers have made it clear that they don't believe they can afford him. And I mean, to his point, if he would have entered free agency last year, he probably would have been one of the highest paid cornerbacks in the league. He played phenomenally last year. And this year hasn't been that way. But like he said, he wants to be loved. He wants to feel appreciated. He wants a team to want him. And if the 49ers aren't going to do that, then he's probably not going to play here, because on top of the trauma that he has, of everything he just explained, if you're not going to show him the love and appreciation, then if another team comes along and says, hey, we love your game, we appreciate what you bring to the table, and we want you to be a part of that, and we'll compensate you for it, he's absolutely going to jump at that. So I think it's pretty clear that Charvarius Ward isn't going to return. Maybe he does, but I think, maybe there would be different set of circumstances if the tragedy that he went through didn't occur. But it sounds like, I mean, the fact that his significant other can't even be here, and he associates it with being here, we got to let him go. We got to let him be free of this place, because are you really going to be your best self if you're just continuing to be in a place that reminds you of the worst moment of your life? And that's a spot where you got to be like, all right, man, like I love Mooney. I think he's been a great 49er. I think he's been amazing contributor. I've loved every second of having him here, but I almost want for him to go somewhere else. Like just after hearing this, like selfishly, I would love to have Mooney, Demo, and Renardo. But after hearing that, I'm like, man, we got to get you out of here for you, like, and your mental health. Like, we got to get you to a place close to home. We got to get you where your wife feels comfortable. We got to get you with your baby. We got to get you out of here. And so in a way it's really bittersweet because like I said, I do appreciate Charvarius. And we've had conversations and he's always been super chill. And I really do appreciate him. And he's always been just a super real kind of guy. And man, it's sad. It's really sad. And I just hope that he can find that peace. And, I know it's going to be a challenge, but maybe staying with the Niners isn't that best way to do that. And I want him to be able to do that. And so we'll see, man. We'll see. Obviously, I have a lot of thoughts and feelings on this. It's a sensitive subject, and there's multiple aspects to it. But I'm curious to know how you guys feel about it. So let me know what you're thinking in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.